Alright, so this is gonna be a quick video that I'm gonna talk about specifically about damage that it has nothing to do with your skill, and I'm gonna put this on my play group. I'm not gonna mention names aside from the yellow that started talking trash at the very end, but aside from that, I wish I wanted to put people on the spot, but I don't do that anymore. I'm not trying to pick on fights, but it's just it baffles me, man, that people that were kind of okay or good at the game still have this mentality. Now I'm gonna break it down real quick that it has nothing to do with winning. The damage has nothing to do with winning. So it all depends what kind of roll you get on mix. Some on mix it's random, so sometimes you get something like a chimera or a worm. You're more likely to get higher damage. Now, if you get something like a speed buff, like an unholy frenzy, which I could have gotten in this round. Let me take out the fog of war. And then they need to include what the enemy have on the replay. I wish in later versions they fixed that. See, you can't see what they have, unfortunately. Alright, so me and Steven were playing. We were having a hard time holding and pushing. Um, Let me speed things up because I don't want to
Job's
make
done.
this.
Job's done.
I don't want to make this an hour video, so I'll try and
Job's
make it
done.
fast here. Alright, the reason why I got Banshees was because I found out that a Creep Lord usually they have the spike needles that shuts them out real quick. Now, when he saw that, he did the right thing of going for the beetle. That's I was really close to getting that putting out the Banshees on my what's it called? On this wave. You see I'm gonna sell them in a bit, watch.
Job's done. Job's
Our
done.
allies' town is
The
under
reason why I
siege.
did that is that I don't want to give out that I have Banshees right away. Reason being is that you want to have at least 4 Banshees, more or less, give or take, for the magic shell to get like a good amount of army to protect it. Having like one or two, and then it's like if he invests on spike needles, it's fine. I could have probably waited to when he's like level 2 or 3, but I didn't. The reason I want to get that magic shell right away. And then yellow thought that the Pit Lord could actually withstand a lot of the hits. I think they've been nerfing the Pit Lord really bad because on version 3.3.3, I felt like he was one of the strongest heroes. I think I had him on rank A or rank B, something high. Now he's like one of the worst heroes in the game. And if you don't get belts, like at least 4 or 5 belts, he dies really quick. And even then, he gets countered really easily, man. So you need something like healing and a speed buff. If you don't have a speed buff, healing. If you don't have healing, just get a speed buff. If you don't have either one of those two or neither, the Pit Lord's gonna be a really bad hero in my opinion. Even with the level 6, I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like the Inferno and the Warden level 6 is much better here. Now, whenever you're dealing with something like that, a Shockwave from TC or the Feet Spike Needles from the Crypt Lord, you want to spread your army. Do at least about 8 hexes here. I can't turn on the grid. Yeah, about 8 hexes. Because usually if you put like a little, they get together and they can attack like a good amount. But it didn't kind of really matter because this Thomas kept on losing his lane. So my idea here was to put probably around mid or back line. But I ended up doing that in a bit, so you're gonna see.
Our allies' town is under siege.
See, like he was screwing me up big time, so watch. I'm gonna end up moving my amendment back. Now, if you have Steven telling you specific things, then there's something wrong. Because usually Steven is like one of the people that are almost doesn't tell people what to do. I only seen him done that like 2 or 3 times on different occasions. You gotta be really bad in order for him to be telling you that. So that just tells you everything.
Job's
Research
done.
complete.
Let's see what kind of roll he got that he ended up getting the most damage later. For one, first frost worms, of course. Yeah, the frost worm spam was the one that got him with the most damage right here. There's no speed buffs here. Maybe the witch doctors help the worm stay alive. And then I ended up screwing up Steven later when I put my army back so I can actually start getting more damage. But at the same time, I wanted to get my hero leveled up as well. Because Volcano's actually very OP if you know how to use it.
Job's done.
Research complete.
Alright, one big advice here is that a lot of people think that they can do good with dryads and they can dispel a lot of the crap. Sometimes, whenever you have something like the caster, like the Fire Lord, or even the Banshees, right? They stay in the backline whenever the freaking ghouls start attacking. And they keep the backline from not getting dispelled. Is that you want to have the dryads? What I usually like to do, you don't have to put them here, but if you want to put your footies here, you gotta put one here and then the other one here, so that when they get in contact, there are chances of dryads doing a dispel go higher. Now, the only reason why you don't want to put your dryads here next to your like front line is if you are fighting against something like tier 2 air like hawks or gargoyles that can actually do decently well against dryads, or if you're fighting against huntresses because of the glaive, of course. um, it can ricochet and it can actually hit the front line if you have the dryads there, so you have a hard time to actually dispelling. So you probably got to put like 2 or 3 hex, no, 3 hexes at least behind if you don't want your dryads to be hit, because I think their range is 500. So 500, it's gonna be more than two. So on the third hex would probably be good for them not to get hit. Now when it's 600 range, you can put it in 1 hex or 2 hexes, like archers, for example.
Job's done. Job's done.
This guy was losing like 80% of his lane, or probably a little bit less, probably 70%. The only reason he started winning was because he started getting a lot of worms, and I already knew that eventually the worms they're very hard to beat. The only thing that can beat worms is if you have something like polymorph or something like cripple that can shut them down real quick. But even then, I think this guy had raiders. Even then, with raiders, they still struggle to kill worms. Yeah, I told him Fireball is gonna shut him down quick. He's freaking level 1, dude, still.
Research.
Those are the worst type of people, the ones that ignore you. And I've seen people where they intentionally ignore you and they do stuff on purpose. I think I only done it like less than 3 times. And I think one guy didn't deserve it, but that was like way back then. Um, Before I started taking this game a little bit serious. I was more of a casual from like 2020, 2024. But now this past few months, I've been picking up my competitiveness lately. Dude, and still loses. Still loses. Why? Because he has no front line. Dude, the guy. doesn't even have front line. How are you gonna put a demolisher without a front line? Like freaking noob tactics right there. Yeah. So at this point, I started messing around with Steven's damage. So I put my back line so I can actually start fighting blue and purple if I win, and you're gonna start seeing that that's exactly what I start doing. Because I do want to start getting what's it called, the XP for my Fire Lord. Now I could have gotten something like Orb of Corruption, but the spiked armor nullifies that, especially the level 3. So I feel like it's a waste of money. So I don't know why people get it. Yeah, sure, you shut down the Crypt Lord at level 1 or 2, but I prefer to have gloves with the Fire Lord. Now the only thing that I really messed up on this round was that I didn't get a Holy Frenzy. I should have like um, put it on whenever I saw the magic shield start wearing out. The thing, whenever you have magic shield, you can't even cast anything on your characters. I think you can actually do unholy frenzy, then you can put the magic shield on top. I can be wrong, but I think you can. That's the only reason we didn't lose towers, because this guy had a statue. Um, the healers was the one that kept what's it called, not pushing, because this guy doesn't even have aggro like Grunstone. No, that one. So this guy doesn't like has grunts and doesn't have much damage. Raiders have very low DPS. Walkers only good DPS for magic. So the priest and shamans don't do jack shit. So that's why we were stacking here at tower. That's the only reason. I don't know what other stuff he had. I wish I knew. Alright, one thing that I forgot to point out is that whenever you're on the other side of the middle, the hippos tend to be useless, and the anti-air, like especially like riflemen, headhunters, archers, whatever, they don't focus their priority on the hippos for some reason. Whenever you're on the defensive side, they do, like over here. So whenever you cross the line, start moving your shit forward, and then you move your hippos back. That's what I'd end up doing, but not anytime soon. I do it a little bit later.
Job done.
Alright, so this guy started pumping siege engines. That's when I started moving my hippos, and a lot of the units have a hard time dealing with getting aggro. You put them at the very bottom. Like for example, heroes. That's why I ended up putting my Fire Lord in the bottom. Is that usually the heroes, if they're usually in mid, like 80-90% of the time, they put them there. Their spells will prioritize more in the middle rather than the bottom. So your chances, if you're not getting a magic shell barrier from your hero, you won't probably get hit from the spike needles. And I test this numerous times. It has helped. So the what's it called? Man, I got a brain fart here. So that was one of the reasons why I put my hero in the bottom. Some like somewhere around there. That's a good area. and the air starts being like nullified a bit. So you're gonna see what I'm gonna do in a bit. Oh yeah, start moving stuff. Not very few people now, but the aggro thing here. I think probably less than 5 people that I seen on direct strikes. That's why I'm doing this video to educate my community. Um, the ones that are not part of my community can suck it. If they want to watch my channel just because they want to watch it, that's great. That's another tips they can watch. But you see, I'm gonna start moving things here.
Job done.
I forgot to move this one. So watch here. The siege engines are not gonna have prioritizing the hippos. Slow down the speed here. They can see more or less. Yeah, they're dead, but you see that they're dead. Watch. Their priority lies in like whatever airs in the middle. And of course, when I have backline, I have the Griffin Riders. And Griffin Riders are kind of decently well against siege engines. I know worms are way better against siege engines. That's the only reason why I put these in the middle, backline. Alright, so I ended up getting the Taran Chieftain. The only reason why I got him was because I wanted to reach their fort easier so I can start sniping their fort. And yeah, it was tough, man. And I don't have any speed buffs with me. I mean, I could have gotten holy, but that's the only problem about having a freaking shaman. I mean, the banshee was that it prevents you from putting spells on your creatures. Yeah, sometimes I forget to toggle things. So right now, Steven has a solid build. Orb of Darkness. I don't know why he got Orb of Darkness. I guess it's not a bad idea. But I mean, I wouldn't get Orb of Darkness against Huntress. But he got it. That's cool with him. I think he was better off getting that Cod Gemstone instead to make that Blade Minister a little bit more tanky. This guy gets 2 protections. Honestly, I think 1 is more than enough. 2 is like overkill. Like I feel like it's stupid. Maybe probably to work well if you have if you're finding a lot of tier 1 ground like bunch of ghouls or footmen and that can do like a good amount of damage and they're tearing down your hero. Maybe 2 protect rings can be good, but I think 1 is like more than enough. Now, if you're dealing with a lot of range, which I was, I eventually ended up getting the evasive talisman because this guy has a shit ton of riflemen. Ended up getting pushed back because of orange. They ended up bringing up the destroyers as a surprise. Um, yeah, so freaking yellow doesn't have any much counter to that. He doesn't even have a orb, and he barely just brought out the siege engines in order to counter the destroyers. But I mean, look at that, dude. Why are you gonna put destroyers? I mean, siege engines if the destroyers are in the back line and you don't even have a front line. Like, I wouldn't say anything. He had like 6 or 7 abominations. Then like some on the back. That might have probably helped to hit down those damn destroyers. As you can see, I didn't sell my hippos. I know vast majority of people would sell them as soon as they saw siege engines. I know I did. Um, the only reason why you want to sell your hippos is if you have hippos in front, and if you don't have any other air, that's the only thing that you have. That might be a thing, but if you can put them on the bottom and top and like focus your air in the middle, the fucking siege engines will tend to ignore them unless they have like a line of siege engines. But even then, like their priority lies on whatever aggro's attacking them.
Job done.
Look at this, man. Destroyers are gonna get the only the messed up thing that Orange did was if he went more destroyers, um, I know he ended up getting freaking raiders. If he had the Giant Hawks, he should have waited because he spammed a shit ton of grunts. I feel like this is a waste of money right here. So if he would have went more air and would have gotten probably demolishers, he ends up getting demolishers here in a bit. He would have stacked with blue, dude. We could have been in trouble, man. They could have probably been pushing. And they're telling Steven the tip there. What is going for gold mine? Oh shit, 3 gold mine. Just purple, the cursed color. But you know, his build is not that bad aside from him going 3rd gold mine. Ring of protection is not even needed that much for Pit Lord. Interesting idea here. You got the gem of true seeing only to counter windwalk or freaking. He doesn't get the illusion. Steven doesn't get the illusion, so I feel like you want to get something like gem of true seeing more for mirror rather than a windwalk. But I don't know. It's my opinion right there. I don't know if it's more effective for windwalk at the moment.
Job done. Job done. Job done.
Yeah, so freaking yellow ended up getting more damage because I think the 25-minute mark or so, he started having enough worms to a point that he was fighting blue and orange. So he was fighting 2 lanes. And then I ended up almost being at the fort as well. But the one that was usually at the fort at the very end was Steven. I guess in the last probably 6, 7 minutes of the game. That's why in the freaking yellow ended up getting the most damage. So the logic here is, wait, hold on. Oh, I can't even move. Um, so if you're red, if you're fighting 2 lanes, you're screwing up teal from damage. If teal is fighting 2 lanes, you're screwing up yellow for damage. If yellow's fighting 2 lanes, he's end up screwing red. So usually like one player out of the two that ends up going screwed the most that end up being at the fort. You want to intentionally have somebody at the fort if they have like something like demolishers, worms, chimeras, but it's the vast majority of people don't even think about that. I think I'm the only one that has been talking about like who has the best finishers, as I call it, so they can be at the fort. And of course, if they're gonna be at the fort, they're gonna have the least amount of damage, but they're gonna be the ones hitting at the fort the most. Look at this, man. Watch, watch, watch. This freaking piece of shit ends up talking trash here. Watch. Wait, he didn't say anything. He did say it. He did say it. He did say it. I don't know why it's not appearing in chat. That's very strange. Perhaps maybe he blocked me. That's why I couldn't see it. That's why I ended up talking back, and then Steven saw it as well. Yeah, so this guy said a very harsh remark after we were constantly holding the tower. He had the gall fucking bladder to even say something like he's the reason why he carry us. Carry me and Steven? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I played against this guy before. He was actually blue. Dude, I shred him to bits in a game before. So this is hopefully this video is informative for anybody that's watching. Um, again, like damage has nothing to do with skill. Can't believe there's people that think about it, and there's gonna be in the future that are gonna be thinking about, oh, damage. Damage has all to do with your type of spawn that you get. A lot of times, if you have something like a speed buff, and you have something like a strong magic hitter, like a worm or chimera, of course your damage is probably gonna be higher. It all depends on your hero as well, what kind of hero you get. Not only that, as well, if you have the sustainability to withstand the lane and not get pushed and fight the other lane. So a lot of times whenever you have a healer, you tend to survive, push, and then fight the other lane as well. So if you get speed buffs or healers, more than likely you tend to actually survive and fight the other lane. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this video and yeah, let me know. Hopefully this was informative. I know Lemon agrees with me that damage has nothing to do with skill. I'm glad there's people out there that think like me and yep, take care everybody.